All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner daily update, but I want to do weekend edition, and I'm also going to include some year-end price targets. So I got a bunch to go through today. Hope everybody's enjoying your weekend. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, I appreciate it. Lastly, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can hit the join button on YouTube and become a member. Members have some members-only content. In addition to that, we do a once-a-week members-only live stream, and also the members get to pick a video each week for me to do. So we'd love to have you there. Let's talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Okay, so on Friday, it really was actually a pretty mellow day on Friday. You'll see the big board, there's a lot of red, there's some green, no gigantic movements. The top half of the board is the larger market cap Bitcoin miners, and you'll see down, Bitfarms was down 1%, RIOT was down 1.5%, Cleanspark was up 0.9%, RIOT was up 0.2%. Marathon is probably the underperformer in the group as far as the larger market caps go. Core Scientific was down 6%, but their market cap's almost gone. For whatever reason, Stronghold was up 5.8% on the day, and DigiHost was up 5%. Cypher was up 4.76%, and MicroStrategy was up 3.75%. So the NASDAQ was actually down a little bit on Friday. So this mixed bag, I think, is about to be what's expected. Friday was a very sideways day, and when we take a look at the charts, you're going to see this weekend has been unbelievably stably sideways. Okay, so let's talk about what happened with the Bitcoin mining stocks this week. This is a chart from this week on Friday when the market closed versus last week on Friday when the market closed. So this is a much calmer schedule than it has been in the past. Weekly movements have been massively volatile, so we've seen 30, 40, 50% moves, sometimes 60, 70, 80% moves inside of a week on certain stocks. So this week, the worst move on the whole list was Core Scientific, down 23%, and that really is heading in the wrong direction fast. Marathon, down 17%, was the second biggest move down, but Marathon has been the best performing Bitcoin mining stock over the last 5 months, so I think there's just a little bit of catch-up happening, so it had a tough week this week. Iris Energy was down 12%. That's one actually that I have some interest in. From Bitfarms at minus 7% to DigiHost up 8%. Everything else was fairly calm this week. Those moves over the course of a 1 week period, obviously for the Bitcoin miners, those are relatively small moves. So you'll see Bitcoin itself, you'll see in gold there, it was down 1% on the week. So very sideways week overall. Nothing dramatic to report there. Okay, so this is the chart for me personally that I've been following most closely. So this is basically everybody's performance over the last 5 months. So Marathon's up 20%, RIOT's up 10%, and then from there, we start into the negative. So RIOT is the third place performer. RIOT was green all the way up until last week. It's now down 6%, so it has taken out its summer lows. In that same period of time, Bitcoin is now down 6%. Bitcoin was actually up. Bitcoin was positive for 5 full months, and then we had the FTX situation, and Bitcoin actually went into the red, and they have now taken out their lows from this summer. All right, if we go all the way to the bottom of this list, you'll see there have been some catastrophes. So again, this is just in the last 5 months. Core Scientific's down 90%. Off of its all-time low from 5 months ago. Argo Blockchain's down 78% from its 2-year low 5 months ago. Greenidge is down 71% from its all-time low. Mawson, stock ticker MIGI, they're down 59% from their all-time low. So you can see those are highly, highly distressed stocks. And then we have another group of stocks that I would say is fairly distressed. Cleanspark, Bitfarms, Iris, and Stronghold are all down 41, 41, 42, and 45% respectively. So they're still all very close to their 52-week lows or all-time lows. Okay, so let's go to the Bitcoin charts now. We're going to start out on the 30-minute time frame. You will see a orange line as always where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed on Friday. So Bitcoin was at around 16,498, call it 16,500. It's traded pretty much in a $300 or $400 price range all weekend long. So, we're 2 full days away from that close now. We've really stayed within just about 1% of where that orange line is. Some of the technicals are starting to look like this is a consolidation period that could end up in a rally. Yes, I said it. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me say that, but you should remember we have had several relief rallies in the last half of this year, and I've been expecting one more before the end of the year. So it has not quite come yet. I think the FTX situation, when we go to larger time frames, you're going to see, I think FTX derailed what was going to be the next relief rally. and I now think possibly we're on track to play out at least some portion of that rally between now and the end of the year. So at the 30-minute time frame, you can see Bitcoin is just completely sideways all weekend long. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame, you're going to see that last Sunday and Monday, so that was a week ago, Bitcoin had a little bit of a collapse and it retested this low. This low was the low that it flash crashed down to after the FTX situation hit. So we had a big crash taking out our previous low at 17,500-ish. Got all the way down to somewhere in the 15,500 range, recovered from there, and then this is the Genesis / grayscale situation. So this was another thing that spooked the market for a day or two. It turns out it looks like it's not that big of a contagious situation. And the other important thing is you can see on the 4-hour time frame, this new low that was set in the FTX situation very easily held on the 4-hour time frame, and we gravitated right back up $1,000 back to, around 16,500. We're at 16,552 as I speak right now. So, we're plus or minus of exactly where we closed on Friday. And more importantly, this new low that we flash crashed down to did hold when the next mini crisis hit a week later. On the daily time frame, each one of these represents 1 day. So these two gigantic red candles, that was the FTX situation. So this red line here at 17,500-ish, this had held for 5 months. And you can see we were well above that. We were in the $21,000 range. And then the FTX situation started to unravel, and that brought us down. We took out this very strong line of support and hit a new low. And now we've returned right back up to around 16,500, where you can see mostly since the FTX situation, that's where we've recovered to. So I do think we're in a period of consolidation here. I don't want to read too much into the charts and the patterns. You could look at this a lot of different ways. This is the MACD on the 1-day time frame. So you can see we had a bearish crossover when the FTX situation happened. We did have a bullish crossover several days ago. So we are now consolidating, and you're seeing we're starting to get larger and larger green candles on the histogram for the 1-day MACD. So as that is happening, what I'm going to be looking for, this is the RSI on the 1-day time frame. We're now at about 40. We're at about 40 and a half on the 1-day time frame. So really these runs, these relief rallies tend to happen between 50 and 61 on the daily RSI. So as we've had a bullish crossover on the MACD, we continue to head up on the daily RSI. We did bottom out here at like 23. So we've made our way back up to 40. If we can get ourselves over 50 and take a run between 50 and 60, that is where most of relief rallies happen. You can see some of these have topped out as high as about 65. So I'm not looking for a full-fledged bull market. I'm just looking for that relief rally between 50 and 65 on the daily RSI. And I think we could be headed into that period. So again, I have been calling for this for a while, but I'm still looking for this relief rally. So I'm just going to give a few price targets. So the first thing is we're very close to this, and we need to get above this just to confirm we're in a rally at all. The previous all-time low at 17,500 back in June, we're about 6.5% below that. So we need a rally of about 6.5% just to get to that. The next natural point, I believe that this line at 19,200, this was extremely strong support for a long period of time. And I think without the FTX situation, that line would have held. Instead, we did set a new all-time low, so I think we're going to gravitate at least back to that. That's a 16% rally, but that's not actually what I'm looking for. There's a purple line here at about 22,500. That would be about a 35% rally, and you can see back in the middle of September, we did rally back up to this point. In August, we rallied back up at 25,000. So I'm not even going to call for that right now. This a 35% rally, that would be a full-blown relief rally without really saying, not yet establishing that we've returned to a bull market, because I don't know when that's going to happen. There is more pain to come in all likelihood in the future. However, I do think there's a gigantic window of opportunity right now to have a nice run up. So somewhere, in my opinion, between 16 and 35% is the potential relief rally between now and the end of the year. So we'll see what happens. That's all I've got for you for now. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.